Hey, football fans, if you watch gameranx, you know it's probably way past time that we acknowledged FIFA 18. It's a totally flawless and perfect game, right? Not really. But let's be real, no game is perfect, and FIFA 18 is fun, but it isn't flawless. So we scoured the internet and found your biggest complaints. Consider it complaints from me and fans, but also try and think of it as constructive criticism. Because today on gameranx, we're here to bring you 10 things FIFA 18 players hate. Starting off at number 10, we're going to talk about randomly losing connection to EA servers when you're actually winning the game online and it ends up counting as a loss. Yeah, this still happens even in FIFA 18 and it doesn't really get any better. This is something that can infuriate certain FIFA players, especially the ones who take their record really seriously. I mean, who doesn't? It's just not cool, and it really doesn't matter what platform you're playing on, because let's just say you're in a match and you're up 1-0, you scored a nice early goal and you're ready to steamroll your opponent, and then suddenly this happens. Yeah, you just lost your connection to the EA servers, but that's not all. The game knew you had it in the bag, and worst of all, those points you desperately needed to qualify to the next division, gone, straight up. The game counted as a loss. What the hell, EA? But moving on to number 9, players really hate when the other player runs straight from kickoff to your goal and none of your 88 defense defenders can stop him. There's something annoying about playing versus other players that decide to just run straight through your team right from the kickoff and score, especially when you play Real Madrid in online divisions. The part that gets us and other people mad is that the defensive players don't even seem to move when this is happening, and it's like they're just lagging and just watch the player run by like, okay, let's just not play the match at all. And it sucks because even if you're trying to change players, by the time you get to the player you want to play as, the ball's already in the back of the net.
What happened?
And at number 8, you've probably been angry at this, losing 3-5 after being 3-0 up at halftime. This is a lot more common in FIFA 18 as the game can change a lot after the opponent scores even one goal after being down 0-3. And I know scripting has been reduced quite a bit, so the game is completely open even if the opponent is 3 goals down. It only takes 1 goal to change the game, just like in real football. It's a good thing that scripting has been reduced and defending is a lot more fluid, but it sucks when it happens to you. So maybe this is one we can hate but also kind of understand, because hey, it has happened to real teams. It just sucks when it happens to me. And at number 7, we have D-pad delay. And I know this may not be a big deal for a lot of people, but it all depends on what you're doing in the game. And for me, it's not really a huge deal, but for some, it can be really frustrating. For example, like take a look at this player who is having trouble in the menu screen trying to bid on a player, and the lag isn't really helping. I can see how if you're trying to bid or just do anything quickly, how frustrating it can be. Now, of course, this seems like a really minor complaint, but they really need to update this, because what if you're trying to resign a player or a trade or sign a contract and the lag messes something up and you can't take it back? That will get me annoyed, and it's something they really should fix, but you can say that about a lot of these points. Which brings us to number 6. Stop me if you've heard this. When in a hurry, your goalkeeper passes the ball to the other team's striker, and then they score the easiest goal ever. It doesn't matter in what mode you're playing in FIFA, because this happens to all of us, and it's probably the least fun thing to happen in a match. I personally have tried to tie up a match in extra time and have maybe hit the button to pass too many times, which then gets delayed, and then the goalie just hands the ball to the opponent and then they score. Great. I think this could be one of either things. The game lag can mess up your decision making, or you as a player maybe just hit the button to pass too many times because you're invested in the match. But for now, let's blame the lag, and in the future, just be careful with button mashing under pressure. But at number 5, barely missing out on qualification to the next division when playing online by 1 or 2 points, especially when you sank 2-3 hours playing the division and you're back to where you started. I sometimes blame the matchmaking system for this one, because I can spend a few hours winning back-to-back matches, and right up when I'm about to make it out of a division, I get matched up with someone who just kills me. And I have to start over from the beginning. The way I am, I honestly have to shut off the game for a bit and come back to it, because it just sucks putting all the effort in and then coming up short in the end. And at number 4, nothing feels worse than getting done by ping-pong passing. You got the opponent's team player, usually like a defender, cornered, and he has nowhere to pass, but then he makes an unrealistic pass which even Modric would be proud of. Let's face it, when playing FIFA, you're gonna play versus players that are just there for fun and can care less, or maybe just don't understand the way football is played, or they're players that completely understand everything about FIFA and just want to piss you off to the point of rage quitting, or I don't know, maybe that's just me. But when people start ping-pong passing and you can't defend against it, it sucks. It's like playing monkey in the middle and never getting the ball. Also, it's even more frustrating when it happens and you know in real life that pass would never have worked unless you're Real Madrid, because apparently they can do anything. FIFA 18's game design is probably more to be blamed in this case, but I don't know. And at number 3, let's talk about the referees getting in the way. I'm not sure about you guys, but this time around the refs are pissing me off more than ever, especially for like example, they get in the way of a really great pass and the ball deflects off of them and right to your opponent, who then maybe gets a really good run and scores on you. Yeah, that's actually happened to me once. Another thing I have noticed, and maybe I'm not the only one experiencing this, is that sometimes the refs are wearing colors that match your team's kit and it's hard to actually tell them apart from your team. It can throw you off and might possibly make you think he's on your team and pass it to them instead of someone actually on your team. That's a stupid mistake, of course, but it's still worth pointing out, because it still sucks when it costs you a game. But at number 2, getting your ass handed to you by a player after getting promoted to a new division. All the confidence you had from winning the previous division's trophy is all gone, because there's no better feeling when reaching the next division after all the effort you put into matches and coming out on top, and then you start the next division and just get outplayed and wrecked. It's just painful, and it's like you have to readjust your gameplay and your emotions to the next level to make it out of that division. I honestly love the challenge of facing better players than me to get better, but it is deflating when you think you're going to start out strong in the division and only to end up feeling like shit and losing most of the matches. I really have had some nights where I just question myself and even why I played this game, but then I remember that there are probably people out there that are worse than me. And at number 1, probably the thing that most players hate the most is lag, obviously, especially when you play an online game that lags a lot and you end up losing because of it. Let's face it, playing online is fun because you get to really challenge yourself versus others around the world and really test your skills, and it's amazing. It's a great feeling when you completely dominate another team and win, but there are times when playing online will test your patience, and it's not just because the other player is just good or they're kicking your ass, but usually it's because right from the start, the match begins to lag and nothing happens in the match except the game being really choppy, and who's to blame? Now, of course, whether it's football or a first-person shooter, people always love to fall back and blame lag for losing, but sometimes it is actually the case, and in FIFA 18, it does happen. Sure, it has some server-side improvements from previous years, but it's still a reality. And you know what? It totally sucks. But those are 10 things in FIFA 18 that drive us absolutely nuts. So we want to hear from you guys down in the comments if you are playing. What are some of the worst things that have happened to you in the game, or just what really grinds your gears about it? If you did enjoy this video, clicking the like button does help us out. And if you're new, you should subscribe because we put out videos about games every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.